y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Elizabeth and I'm with Live Craft and Love. If this is your first time visiting me, welcome and thank you for coming. I'm here today to start off my DT project for Country Craft Creations. I am going to be going ahead and do a chipboard cover trifold folio, if that makes any sense. I'm going to try to incorporate a folio along with a mini album together. So this folio is going to have a total of 4 interactive pages, just like a mini album one, but it folds in 3 ways. Now I went ahead and I pre-cut and some of the materials, that way this video won't be so long. So I'm going to start off real quick by telling you what size chipboard pieces you're going to use. You're going to need 3 pieces that measure 6.5 by 6.5 and 2 pieces that measure 2 inches by 6.5, and this is going to be the spines. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. And in order to wrap this up, you're going to need 3 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock, but you are going to have to trim those 3 pieces down to 9 by 9. And this is the reason why, because the 12 by 12, we usually attach and adhere just 2 12 by 12s and that's it, but this wasn't enough since the mini album is 6.5 inches long by 3 of these pieces. So I went ahead and I measured it. It's 9 by 9, and I went ahead and I already attached the pieces together, but all I did is I put 2 1/4-inch strips of score tape on this side, 2 1/4-inch score tapes on this side, and I adhered the 2 pages to it. So this is exactly where the spines are going to lie. Now, if you notice, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but I went ahead and I scored at a 1.25 inches right here, just so that way this could be my guide for placing my chipboard pieces down. So again, 3 pieces of 6.5 by 6.5, 2 of 2 by 6.5, and 3 cardstock pieces that measured 9 by 9. Now you can use regular cardstock. No, the 12 by 12 you're going to need, because the other one only goes up to 8.5. So yeah, you're going to need 9 by 9 and score at 1.25 inches. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach my chipboard pieces to the bottom of this cardstock here, and all I'm simply going to do is I'm going to do this really quick. I'm going to outline the perimeter of each of these pieces with 1/4 inch score tape, only because I don't have the 1/2 inch score tape. This is the only score tape I actually have, so I just want to make sure that the outlines of the score of these squares itself, the chipboard, do have adhesive, so nothing will, you know, rise or bubble up or anything. Now I am putting pieces of score tape down the middle, but I'm going to fill in this middle pieces with art glitter glue. So okay, that's 1. This is 2. Now I might just fast forward this part or completely skip it in the video, simply because it's very repetitive, and I think everybody knows how to apply score tape to the back pieces of a chipboard. Now I am a little bit late with my DT project. It should have been done already, but as you all know, I had a pretty rough month. So I'm just trying to catch up. I'm actually on fall vacation already, Thanksgiving vacation with school. I got the entire week off. Today is Monday, and of course I'm crafting at night. So I have the entire week off, Monday through Friday. But I do work at a speech therapy clinic, so I do have work on Monday and Tuesday. So today and tomorrow I work at the clinic. Other than that, I have my vacation. So I am trying to use this time to catch up on my projects. I have my DT project, and I need to start up on our Christmas projects that we're going to do for the DT Hop, and also for my 12 Days of Christmas with Rosa. So yeah, I have a lot of work to get caught up on. I don't think a week is going to be enough, actually. but we'll see what we can do in 1 week. For sure, definitely, I am going to finish this tutorial in a matter of 2 to 3 days, simply because I am waiting for my other DT kit to come in, and I haven't even finished this one. So yeah, okay, so we're done with that. Go ahead and varnish your score tape just so that way it can stick nice and well. And once we're done with this, we will adhere it to the cardstock and go ahead and wrap our cover. After that, we will go ahead and do our hinges, and that should be good for the tutorial for the first part. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape backing and of course add the glitter glue in between all of these empty spaces. You always want to make sure that you have enough adhesive, especially for the cover, because that's what gets used a lot. It gets moved and maneuvered a lot, so you never want to be too stingy with your adhesive at this point. Okay, so here is my hot glitter glue in between. Okay, and this is going to go straight down in the middle of my middle page, and that looks about right. I'm eyeballing it, and as you can see, that's why you have that score line there, because it's a guide to make sure that I am going straight with my album. I don't have a very good eye for that sometimes, so I do need a guide, and it's okay. And it actually helps when you're wrapping it. Whoop, there goes the spine. When you're wrapping it, simply because since it's already scored, it's a lot easier for the cardstock to fold over, so you can cover your album. At least I find it easier. Okay, so now I'm going to eyeball this again. Oops. Again, using the score line on the bottom or at the bottom. Okay, that's one. Now the other spine is going to go right next to it. Now, while I do this, my idea for this project, since it is Gal Meets Glam, it's a lot of girly stuff, lipstick, makeup, that sort of thing. I don't know why, but I feel that pertains a lot to like a teenage girl who is, I don't know, getting into the whole makeup and looks, and like kind of like a high school girl who's all into makeup and fashion and stuff. Somebody who actually has time for it, because God knows I don't have time for that. This one has a little bit more of a gap, but that's okay. Yeah. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do with this folio is I'm going to try and turn it or incorporate a lot of journaling spaces for it. I'm going to try and make it into like a teenage diary type of thing for a high school girl to, you know, keep all her memories of her friends and her dates, or, you know, if she's in any type of extracurricular activities, keep that also documented. I don't know, something like a diary. Girl Meets Glam diary, something like that. Okay, now this one is going to go on this side. You should be left with about an inch on the outer end. See that? About an inch. Enough, perfect enough for you to wrap it around. And now the last piece. So yeah, that's the idea. I am going to try and also, I'm hoping I have enough paper, to alter a box and turn that box into like the keepsake box for the diary, where, you know, the young lady would keep her diary, you know, hidden away, or maybe even locked up to keep it away from anybody, you know, reading it, so forth. I've seen many diaries that have little boxes and locks and stuff on them. So that's the idea behind this entire project. That was the inspiration I got when I saw it. So I will go ahead and go with it. Okay, put that down. Okay, once we're done with that, flip it over, give it a good furnish in the back, making sure everything's nice and adhered. Now notice, this is the reason why I had you guys cut the papers 9x9. Notice that where the paper meets, where we attached it to each other, it's pretty much in the middle of the spines. That's where you want to be. You do not want to have this line right here be right here in between your gaps. That's not a good thing. So now we're going to go ahead and score on the side, score right here, and this is just going to give it a little bit more of a easier way to fold since it is kind of scored. And I am going to line the bottom of this cover, or the cardstock, with score tape, which I am going to cut a corner off, so do not worry. Line this with score tape. And for this one, I am going to go all the way just across. I'm not going to be skipping. I've seen it done. It works. Okay, so now line this edge. Line this edge. I really hope I am in frame. You know, I haven't even bothered to check. Kind of, sort of. And line this bottom with score tape. Now, it is a pretty lengthy album, at least the cover is for now, so if I get out of frame, I apologize. I'm trying to do it as best as I can. Okay, now I am going to line these inside spaces right next to our little gaps as well to make sure nothing bubbles up. I'm not going to remove these just yet, though. Okay. Now I'm going to use my ruler to draw a little line, a diagonal line. I'll make sure that this is 1/8 of an inch on the corner. Draw a line, and that's going to be my cut guide. Here's my ruler. And the opposite end. This end. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my scissors, go ahead and cut on those edges. That and like that. Okay, we're good to go. Now I'm going to start with this bottom piece right here. I'm going to give it a little bit of help. Make sure it's nice and varnished before I actually glue it. So I'm going to run my bone folder all the way down the edges of this section right here. Making sure it's nice and folded. And that's it, it was already scored. Imagine if it wasn't. Okay, so the other thing I'm also going to do is I'm going to apply some art glitter glue right here in the edge. And in here. Want to make sure that's nice and stuck. Oh, there goes my tool. Okay, so now pull the tape backing off and pull the tape backing off of this. And I know it's going to overlap on this, and I should probably pick it up. I should have taken that into account. Very simple to fix, just simply trim it, no big deal. I'll probably end up doing it to the other side as well. Okay, so now I always start in the middle and run my bone folder kind of diagonally to the edge, making sure this is nice and done, nice and flat. Now towards this side, and there we go. Okay, now to do the opposite end. Again, same thing, kind of play with it, making sure that it will fold over nice and good. If you'd like, you can score it. You can run your bone folder down the edge. There we go. And the same thing. Another art glitter glue down there. And down the flap. Now to cut these off. Now I did this only because in some of my other albums when I first started, I noticed that this section right here, right next to the paper or right next to the hinge, or the bend, the fold, whatever you want to call it, it ends up bubbling up for some reason, and I didn't like it, so that's the reason why I did put the score tape, whoops, down like that, so I'm hoping it makes a difference. Okay, here we go. Start in the middle, work your way out to your edges. Go. That one was a lot easier. Run your bone folder and varnish. Now before you do the sides, you do want to make sure that these little corners do get pushed in like so. And then same thing, art glitter glue, and in the middle, and pull down and varnish. Just like so. Okay, next side. Same thing, make sure we push in these corners. Don't want any pieces hanging out. Take out the tape backing, art glitter glue, and here in the middle, pull this over and burnish. Perfect. Oh, that looks really good. Okay, make sure it's nice and burnished on all edges, and we're good to go. Okay, so now I'm going to score a little bit right here just to help the bend a little bit. Also right here. And then do this and this. So this is how this is going to look. And there you have your base. So this is the size of our little folio. It's a trifold, so it's going to open up like this. I am going to have a closure more than likely right here with a ribbon. And now it's time to put our hinges. So let me get to that right away. Let me just give me a sec so I can clean up. Okay, everyone. Now to do the hinge, you're going to need a piece of a cardstock that measures 6 by 5 3/4, and you're going to have this lined up at the 5 3/4 side, and you're going to score at the following places. You're going to score at 1.5, at 2, 2.5, 3 1/4, leaving a 3/4 inch gusset, 3 3/4, 4 1/4, and that's it. So once you score on those marks, you will apply score tape to the first 1/2 inch section, and then the first 1/2 inch section again. You remove the tape backing and fold over, gluing that down, and fold this flat back. Burnish that nice and good. Remove the tape backing, again fold over the 2 1/2 inch sections. Give that a varnish, and then fold this flat back. And then just to make sure you give your hinges a little bit of mobility, fold them back and forth, and make sure you varnish nice and good. That way it gives them the little, you know, the mobility that you need. Now you're going to line up the perimeter of your hinge with your score tape. Make sure that you have adhesive right here on the edges, because this is where your hinges tend to lift if you have a lot of movement with your pages. So I have learned that it's best to put adhesive right there, right at those little hinges. And the inside, or the middle section per se, I am going to use my glitter glue. So I'm going to trim that off a bit. Remove the tape backing off. Oh, darn it. Let me put that back. I don't want it to get stuck on the... Before you remove the tape backing here, there you go. Make sure that you put your double-sided tape on your hinges on both sides, so that way it's ready to go to attach your pages at the end of your designing or your end of your work. It's kind of harder to put this on. I mean, if you forget this step, it's okay. You can always do it at the end, but it's just a little bit more difficult. Here you have the room. Okay, so now, as I was saying, remove the tape backing. And I'm going to apply the art glitter glue in between those sections. And then place this on the 2-inch spine. Now, there are 2 spines, and both spines are going to have these hinges. So you're going to need 2 pieces that measure 6 by 3 3/4. And make sure you score both of them equally, creating this hinge. I have already done that to save on time on one of the hinges. Oops, that got stuck there. I did remove the backing here, and I'm going to use my ruler just to make sure that I do align these pages. I do not want to have uneven pages, so I'm going to make sure that my 2 hinges lie right in the middle of my 2-inch spine. And I am going to set that down and burnish really, really well, especially here in the gusset, right next to the hinges. That's where we put our score tape. Once you do that, score on your edges there and give it a little movement. And here as well. And there you go. There is our little base for our trifold folio. Now, just to keep it closed, since I don't have the closure just yet, I'm going to use a binder clip just to keep this little baby closed and to give it its little shape and stuff. Nothing will happen to it. And yeah, so now the measurements of the pages, in order for you to mat this, since this is 6 1/2, the page is going to measure for the front cover 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. And over here in the spine, it's going to measure 1 3/4 by 6 1/4. So you're going to need 2 of those pieces, and you're going to need 1, 2, here, 1, let me count them. You're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces that measure 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. After that, the pages are going to measure 6 by 6. Okay, so once we're done with that, I am going to go ahead and build our base or our pages, which I've already constructed one, and I'm going to show you how to construct the rest. These are going to measure, like I said, 6 1/4 and 6 1/4. So you're going to need 4 of this measurement, and you're going to need 4 that measure 6 1/4 by 7 1/4. Now these 7 1/4 inside, you're going to put that on the top of your scoreboard, and let me just pull it out just so I can show you. At the top of your scoreboard, it measures 7 1/4. You're going to score it 1/2 inch, rotate it, and score again at 1/2 inch, causing these 2 flaps to come down. You attach score tape on either end or use your wet adhesive, whichever you prefer. And this is where you're going to attach your base page. So I'm just going to pull this back a little, line this up, just like so. Make sure it's lined up nice and evenly. Hold this down and pull the score tape from underneath it. Perfect. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. Pull a little bit to the side. Oops. Got ahead of me there. Make sure it's lined up. Hold this down and pull. Perfect, just like that. Now, for some reason, sometimes I get a little bit of excess on my pages. All I gotta do is just trim it off a little bit, no big deal. Okay, so you're gonna repeat this 4 times to get the base pages of your album, and how that's gonna work is it's going to slip in just like so once you are done. Just like so, and you're going to have one page, and then this is going to be your other page, and then we're going to have interaction going on in here. So there you have it. This is the first part of my tutorial. You should have, by the end of this tutorial, your base cover along with the hinges and 4 pages that measure 6 1/4 by 6 1/4 ready to go. My next part of my tutorial is going to include the construction of the interactions on the pages and a little bit of the matting and decorating. And after that, I think this should be no longer than 3-part tutorial, including all the final review and the decorating and so forth. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to be subscribed to my channel to receive notifications of any other videos that I may post. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, each and every one of you, so much. As always, live passionately, craft often, and love endlessly. We'll see you guys next time. Bye now. Big hugs.